When should you take your science classes / prerequisite? Is it possible to transfer in 2 years and graduate in a total of 4? And when to take the dreaded MCAT? Watch these to the end to get these questions and more answered. First things first, I would like to thank these amazing folks for asking me these questions in various videos that I've posted. Second, if anyone has any questions about any aspect of going from community college to medical school, feel free to comment below and you might be featured in the next Q&A video. Alright, so the first question was, is it possible to become a doctor after first going to community college? And the answer, my friends, the answer, check that out. Ta-da! Congratulations! Right there. Ta-da! The answer is yes! Okay. Or at the very least, it's possible to get into med school. So the second question was, what program in community college should you take if you want to go down the pre-med route? And the answer to that is that there is no specific pre-med track, but rarely is there a pre-med major even in universities. The pre-med add-on is like around 7 to 8 prerequisite classes that you have to take before taking the MCAT and before being able to get into med school. So the med schools require a certain amount of classes, and those classes can be taken at community college or they can be taken at university. In a normal situation, the only thing that you can get that would apply to going to med school is an associate's in science degree or an associate's in arts degree. You're going to be able to skip your core classes that every single university makes you take. They make you take 2 years of core classes such as English 1, English 2, history, anthropology, psychology. These are classes that every single college will require you to take. So getting this degree will allow you to skip 2 years in university. So if you have an associate's degree, you can skip those core classes and at a 4-year university and just do the remaining 2 years for the bachelor's. The key, if you choose to go the community college route, is to excel in your classes, join some extracurriculars, and then join the university so you can start off on a roll and you can go down the same exact path as the pre-med students at that point. All right, third question. How early can I take the MCAT after community college? So this truly just depends on when you're finished your prerequisites for the MCAT. The MCAT tests you on like 8 subjects. It's Chem 1, Chem 2, Physics 1, a little bit of Physics 2, don't really need it. Organic 1, Organic 2, Bio 1, Bio 2, Biochemistry, Psychology, Intro class, and Sociology. You don't have to take that one either. So those are the items on the MCAT, and you need to take you need to take exactly 8 classes before you take the MCAT. Additionally, side tip, I highly recommend you take Biochem before you take the MCAT because it's on 2 sections of the MCAT, tons of material on it. But to be able to take that, you have to take Chem 1, Chem 2, Organic 1, and Bio 1. So as soon as you complete those, you can just take it. And I recommend taking it right after you finish Biochem, if you have a choice. Alright, so this is a big question that I actually had. Should you take higher science classes at your university or in your community college? The benefit of taking it in community college would be it adds to your degree and you'll be more on track as a pre-med student as you would at university. The cons of taking it in community college is that people can perceive it as being easier and therefore not give you as much credit for it as if you got an A in like a university setting. I'm going to just tell you what I did. I took Bio 1, Chem 2, Physics 1. Those are the classes that I took at community college, and then I transferred and took all of the rest of the sciences at university. I think a certain mix, you don't want to avoid sciences altogether, otherwise you'll be so behind. So that's a brief overview of what the classes mean. I would highly recommend you go talk to your pre-med advisor, either at your university that you're planning on going to or your community college, wherever they have that, and talk to them about your situation. All right, so the next question was similar to that one. It was, do you think I should transfer after 2 years at community college, or should I transfer during my sophomore year to be able to take my higher science classes at university? So I'm just going to share my experience. I took 2 years at community college, and in those 2 years, I obtained 2 associate's degrees, an associate in arts and associates in science, which is possible. You just have to take like 64 credits instead of just the 60. You just have to manipulate it a little bit. and take summer classes. So you don't have to do that if you don't want to. However, getting an associate's degree puts you in a great position to get relevant jobs on campus, good scholarships, and it's great for getting into programs like I got into, which was the early assurance program, which guaranteed me a seat into med school. I plan on making a video on that, so if I did, the link will be above. The con to doing this is that you will likely need to take an extra semester or an extra year at your university to be able to fit all the prerequisites in. Those are the brief pros and cons, but I do highly recommend you talk to an advisor. They will be able to help you, and they are much more experienced in this. The main part of this is that whenever you go to a university, you have to do well in those science classes. And in order to do that, I really needed the community college aspect to help me learn how to study before I was put into these large classes that were very different than my community college experience. So for me, it was very good to take my 2 years. So honestly, it just might depend on you. All right, the final question. I'm just gonna read it word for word. This person said, will I have to take more extra classes, as you said, at my university when I transfer? Just to let you know, I'm finding your... Oh, that's sweet. Okay. Sadly, I am not as involved at school like you because I tend to have social anxiety, which I still have to overcome. All right, this is also a bit complicated, so I'm just going to try to read my answer. So if you complete an associate's degree, you will be classified as a junior when you go to university. That's because every university has 2 years of core curriculum, which I talked about earlier, which every single student has to take. So in essence, you're going in, you're skipping the 2 years that you would have taken all the classes, and you would start fresh as a junior with everyone else. However, where it differs is that a biology major wouldn't just take the core classes the first 2 years. They would not just constantly take history, arts, whatever. They would also be putting all of their prerequisites in there, like biochemistry, etc. So they would start taking their biology major requirements along with their core classes, and they would spread out their core classes over 4 years. If you work with your advisor early, you can go to med school without taking any extra years or an extra semester. It is possible for you to go to med school without taking extra time at university. I took an extra semester, but I also added on the Lewis Honors College curriculum to my roster, so I had to take like 4 extra classes because I got into the EAP program. So find and email your transfer advisors and email your pre-med advisor at your university too. There is no harm in doing that. Tell them you want to go to med school. Ask what they believe the best course of action is. Asking early is never a bad thing. The worst they can do is not respond. But students rarely show initiative, so hopefully they will respond. So here's a tip that I learned about social anxiety. First, don't push yourself too hard. If you really have it, we don't want you having panic attacks. That would be too much. But I would recommend you go to the tutoring center when it's available. Just going and being around people is kind of like exposure therapy. And subconsciously, I really believe that helps your brain because it helped me. Along with that, if you need help, they'll come and help you. Or you can just sit there and do your homework. So you're increasing your grades, you're bettering your communication skills, and you have exposure therapy for social anxiety. That's probably one of my biggest tips, along with just joining a club that you are actually invested in. And something that I've had to realize is that people don't expect as much from you as you expect from you. The bar is literally so low. It's pretty ridiculous. All you have to do is show up. Show up and pay a little bit of attention. And people are like, wow, oh wow, that girl's responsible. Not really. I don't really know why the bar is so low, but take advantage of it and just show up. That's all you have to do. Show up to interviews for whatever you apply to. Show up to events. Just show up. So it's easier said than done, but once you start doing it, you realize literally how low the bar is. So please feel free to ask any more questions you have about going from community college to medical school. If you have time to watch another video, I would recommend the 8 tips on how to succeed in community college. I made that right after I completed community college, so I had all of the information in my head, and I put that into this video. Okay, I just really want you to remember that I am not special, and I am not crazy smart. I didn't know literally anything when I started in community college. Literally anything. I didn't even really want to go to community college. It just happened. My story is in this video if you want to see it. All you have to do is try and reach out to people and show just this much of initiative. You definitely got this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.